Hello, Virgo. Hi, welcome. Welcome back. And to those of you that are new, you are seeing the new setup. Hello, I have a microphone. I've also got, as you can see, a switch screen so that you can see the cards in their full display. How beautiful, but also this entire grid, how things land, and also in my deck where they split. It's all part of the reading. And so I think it's best that you have access to that information in real time rather than just trust me. I would never lie to you. 5 planets in Sagittarius, but neither here nor there. I'd rather just share and show in real time. So this is a reading for Virgo placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, anything that's important to you. If a Virgo is important to you, we'll be doing Venus next, Libra and Taurus. So I just finished Gemini's reading and I go in the order of the planets, right? So Mercury is your ruler. I tried to explain as best I could without getting into specifics because astrology is, quite niche. There are a lot of astrological events, if you will, in Aquarius season. Most of them are good. Most everything is actually going to be conjunct at some point. Major players are going to be Pluto, Uranus, Mars, and Mercury. Mercury will be going into retrograde in Pisces, which is quite challenging. I think it'll be especially challenging for you, maybe more so than it is for Gemini, because Gemini is used to that twin duality. But you are not. So yeah, I really think that we're going to be processing the aftermath of Saturn finally leaving Pisces, right? So we've experienced the constriction, the retraction, we've experienced the holds, the delays. Some of you might agree with me, like time has been just barely real. Sometimes you can have a whole week and it's like a sneeze. And then you can have one night in your house by yourself and it's like a month long. So I think that has had to do with Saturn, the planet of reality, in Pisces, which is all about dissolution. But finally, February 13th, it's out. But I think that we'll have a real deep shadow work of putting the details together, right? Understanding the lessons, which is what Virgo helps us with. The Hermit energy will be very much necessary to get through to this next chapter. In the age of the Aquarius, but also how much Aries we will have in this fire horse year. February 17th is going to kick off the true new year and start this fire horse energy that many of us are really looking forward to. I know I am. And that'll be the first eclipse also as we enter eclipse season for the spring, which you are always part of the eclipse, as you know. Okay, let's get into it. Let's just go where we want to go. Where do I see you at this moment? Let's start big picture. We'll use the Osho Zen and get clear on what it is that you need to see. So, as I said, for Virgo placement, and everything that goes on here is about the larger questions of how to allow for more flexibility in your thinking, in your being, and how you relate to others, right? That is the Feminine Inquisition. Here we go. For Virgo, what's the overview for Aquarius season for Virgo? So these cards are in French. So far you have awakening in reverse, as well as the burden in reverse. Waking up that the responsibility is not yours. Possibilities at the bottom of the deck. Setting your wings. Setting yourself free. Rising above. Yeah, so again, higher perspective. That's where I felt I wanted to take you to a higher perspective, but perhaps you wanted to take me to a higher perspective and share with me that you're not actually looking at the details. Maybe some of the burdens that you've had with responsibility or with respect to ideas of being responsible have now turned into what is possibilities. That's the title of this card. The Two of Wands to the Tower. Oh, that's a lot of change. And then the King of Pentacles, which here in this deck is l'abondance, which is abundance. The Death is after transformation. Those are two very critical major arcana for transformation, with abundance sitting in the center. So not only do you make a change to have a huge influx of success, whatever that means to you, but then that huge success brings out another change for you and you transform yet again. So that sounds heavy. That doesn't sound light at all. I'm drinking some tea, but I slipped a little cocoa in it, so it's to cocoa. Let's go to traditional Rider-Smith illustrations to learn maybe how personally affected or involved you are, what your participation is, if you are part of these people that are, you know, releasing burdens. If you're in the dark, maybe some people release burdens, their idea of burdens that had to do with you, and so you could be feeling like there is a chance for a reset, right? Like when you think that you're working towards something with someone, but then in the end it's just you. Then you have a whole brand new possibility, because now you don't have to factor in anyone else in your choices, in your decision making. You're free to plan, to pause, to really create what you want to step into. Or ordinarily, the way that the Two of Wands is presented in the illustration in the traditional tarot is a man holding two wands, choosing one over the other, and with the world at his fingertips. The globe sits in his palm. So there's a lot of what this next move will do in terms of setting you up for a trajectory as you move through the suit of wands, which is all of your actions, your pursuit of pleasure, passion. Now, these are two sword cards, right? You have the Ace of Swords in reverse, as well as the burden, le fardeau in reverse. So if we think that Ace of Swords upright is a divine moment to say something, to do something, but the sword is in reverse, it's more about a personal truth maybe that's settling. But the Six of Swords is in reverse, which means that you go back to a place and time. And like I said, I think that because you're ruled by Mercury, you're going to be processing something that is an aftermath of something that already happened a time ago. Like it could be 6 months ago, 5 months ago, 3 months ago, but that there is this new clarity about you as you showed up in it. I don't know precisely. Let's learn. For Virgo, please, for Aquarius season. There's the Death. That's 2 times here. The Magician to the Hierophant. So I want to just talk briefly before I go into these 3 major arcana that just came out for you. The reason why I think I went directly for big picture, hold on, there's a split here asking for my attention. The Sun, clarity, consciousness, happiness, growth. Very interesting. Okay. 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So why I think I went directly into big picture is that we have, put this here, we have Aquarius season kicking off what is the collective energy of a brand new start for a brand new year, right? Ending of one year and starting of another. But Aquarius is big picture thinking, right? It's a little unpredictable, right? With the elements of Uranus there. It's a lot of sudden change that could take hold of the collective, because it is a collective sign, but it's about the greatest good or the greater good of humanity, about factoring in how each one of us in our very unique, awkward, rare ways, right? None of us are the same. And even if we have a strong sense of identity, we are like a river. Never will we be the same throughout our entire life. We are effortlessly and endlessly changing. So I feel as though a lot of what we're going to talk about in this reading is about the possibilities of growth, expansion, and change. And some of it has to do with the value system. Some of it has to do with how you communicate more powerfully. Maybe there are things that you could have said previously, because the Ace of Swords is in reverse, that you now feel at liberty to say, and that's part of you stepping and walking and doing differently, and that may be what you are committed to. There is a sense of a subjective experience, a subjective perspective on isolation. This is a card about the past. So some of this, even though this is a reading for Aquarius season, which is ahead of us, some of what you are going to be navigating in Aquarius season is part reflection, part instability, part challenge. I got 2 5s on the table with a 6 in reverse. We are going back to an unstable moment to recognize what is possible for power, transformation, and communication. Right? The death is about how we can let go of that which is stopping us from harmonizing. 10, completion to the 3. 3 is internal harmony. Something has to fall aside, right? We don't have the judgment here yet, but we do have the sun, which precedes the judgment. The sun was, again, the card that showed up in the center, which is how spirit communicates with me often. So what is the sun energy? What makes you feel like you want to take action about what's possible? What grants you this highest feeling of soaring above everything, right? Clearly, it is doing differently than previous. Now, I don't know, do we find out what happened, what the burden was before that you feel now you can return? What's the truth that you now understand that you didn't then? So that's why you must return, why you were here, but now this is the trajectory for your future progress. What do you want to say? What have you become more clear on that you can profess? Right? Because the Hierophant is a very strict position of power. And his power is that he can decode the secrets, the mysteries of life. And he is able to profess it to people who feel that they have less experience than him. But the thing is that the Hierophant only has access to the miracles that have been already recorded. He's not really open to sudden swifts of currents or shifts of energy. This is a fixed Taurian position. It's about permission, a position of permission. And Virgo, maybe that speaks to you in some ways. Maybe part of the letting go of how you've communicated a hard no, hard stops, is why you're returning. Maybe the clarity that you thought you had, you recognize you saw a burden maybe where there wasn't, because this perspective was only looking at 3 cups spilled. And now you want to be the kind of person that can level up, rise above like this eagle, and see, instead of 3 cups spilled, all the possibilities. That's what the Tower would do. Now, as you can see in these cards, there is, yes, a tower. Yes, the standard approach to people falling, the burning, the lightning. But if you look more closely, there is a body, a silhouette of peace. The standard Kundalini, the rising of the Shakti. And the fact that this energetic recalibration brings you into abundance and then transformation, we know that something big is going to happen when you start to move from a place of possibility. So I'm going to go directly to the manifestation first. Center of the reading, we'll look at what you're looking at, right? As above, so below. So let's just check it out. for Virgo. Again, also this is Mercury, and Mercury is your ruler. So while they don't always say the Magician is Virgo energy, it is your planet. They like to say the Magician is Gemini and Aquarius, but I don't think it's that true. Let's see. Can I see what is Virgo manifesting here and now in Aquarius season? Show me what's the possibilities for them. The Magician for Virgo, please, for Aquarius season. Thank you. 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck with the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, looking forward to expansion in the networks, in the home, abundance as it relates to currency and energetic exchange, what you get paid for, time for money, but also big projects, proposals, budgets, clearing out, buying, selling, something that's going to be a bit of a legacy. This sometimes can relate to how you communicate your the legacy that you leave, right? So you're trying to manifest a pathway to the highest position of success that you have had yet. And make no mistake, the King of Pentacles following the Tower and the 10 of Pentacles here, there is a lot of potential to make money in Aquarius season. We are not even in the thick of the reading. We are only 17 minutes in. Now, 10 here also, 10 of Wands. This is a completion of action. This is great burden, great responsibility, but this is also being the one to do the thing that no one else is capable of doing. Now, you're not doing it well in this picture, as you can see. We always have these kinds of burdensome images with the 10 of Wands, no matter what deck you're using. He's not carrying the load on his back, which would be helpful. He also can't see where he's going because they're in front of his face, which means that there's some things that you've picked up previously that were not yours, that you didn't need to. And I think that's a little bit relating to this message, right? The truth that has settled deeply into you is that what was a burden that either you ran from or picked up was not. But I don't know what this truth is now. I know what an untruth is as you've explained it. I know how you want to change because of your behavior then, but I don't know. Ace of Swords. Same card. If you skirted responsibility before and you didn't take action, which is one way to read these stories. If you didn't take action before and you skirted responsibility here by carrying the responsibility and taking the load, the Ace is upright. And you can correct your karma, and this is the path that you're on, working together. Okay? And I'm going to go with that because it does make sense. This is a leveling up, and this is letting go of what blocked you there. So I'm going to go here. Can I see the death? What has been released? What will be released? What is dying off currently? One more. Show me the death for Virgo for Aquarius season, either that brought us to this particular moment or that is coming in the future. Share with me, please. What is this death process? The world just fell. Are you kidding? Major endings. Major endings. Now, I would say that the world is almost crossing death, meaning that it has been really hard for you to close out cycles, really slow in your processing, maybe waiting for more information, constantly trying to study, to talk, to think, to examine, to analyze, but not taking action. Emotional departures. That is 3 ending cards, but then an expansion for enthusiasm, openness for personal happiness. There's a level of what you deemed as complete. Because this guy takes his sweet time and he goes for the long haul. And he has a specific destination in mind. And it's difficult, perhaps, for you to call it quits if you haven't reached your destination that you are meant to go to. But the Tower is sudden change that arrives to you that is outside your plan. And instead of seeing it as, you know, a problem, you see it as a possibility. So what you needed to let go was understanding how to, yes, hold on to your mission, your coin, your point, your purpose, your will. But know that completing something at any point, changing direction, pivoting, anything, doesn't mean that you are futile. Hang on. Can I see the world? Thank you. What is this? This is the Tower. Yeah. This is the Tower. I can show you. These cards are so small. There's a third eye on top of it. You see? Now, the Tower, as it relates to this deck, because it's vice versa, and I just want to say that this entire reading is all about personal processes, right? Like, we're not talking about anything with other people. This is something that you are deeply going through, transforming, ending, calling it quits, and being able to walk away from. It's really a certain surrender that you have to find. And I think it has to do with what you've planned. Thinking that the hard work that you've put in on the day-to-day, Six of Pentacles, has owed you something. That, like, if you show up every day, how could it not in turn give you back what you've given? And there's nothing wrong with that concept, but God is also God. The Creator is also the Creator. Your path is also not something that you get to dictate every step of the way. You work towards what you are dedicated to, motivated by, believe in, want to manifest, want to release. But in the end, there's also twists and turns. The world is, or the paths that you live while you have this this little like blip of a life here. It's not short of twists of fate. So yeah, I mean, super interesting. So in vice versa, in the deck of these small cards, the Tower, this is the front, right? They have front and back, but this is the front. And so the Tower, as they explain it, is that there's unexpected and traumatic revelations concerning a situation. So open-mindedness towards a higher aspiration. And that brings me back to possibilities. Let's get into this Hierophant, because that suggests to me that you've had a cap on what's been possible. And the third eye is there to share with you that you had to reset, you had it too low. So let's look at the Hierophant. This is your leveling up, your highest self. Can I see the Hierophant, please, for Virgo for Aquarius season? The Six of Cups, Lord of pleasure, bridging the gap. The Fool, taking chances, taking risks. Zero assessment, very antithetical to Virgo. Right, so the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. Now the Fool is walking towards the Six of Cups, and in the Six of Cups, a masculine is breathing in some flowers that a woman has given to him. We don't have a sense of who this woman is, but typically she represents something that is not like an intimate partner. But we consider this card soul bonds, meaning that it's someone that you are meant to connect with in this life that bridges the gap of your past, your present, and your future. It is precisely the kind of emotional experience you are meant to have so that you can bring forth and grow into what it is that you're going to become. That's why it's a forward movement card. And the Fool is taking a chance to dive into what is this emotional Lord of pleasure. Now, this is the Sun in Scorpio, and we have the Death 2 times. So a lot of scorpionic energy on the table. Scorpio is very deep emotional truths of getting to the bottom of release, of emotional release. To Coco. Standing here as the Emperor. So I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana. It's not a light time for you, Virgo. Aquarius season is going to be one that rocks your mental state, shifts the possibilities of every single person that you meet, is a chance for a new conversation, for a new possibility to make money. Let's just put that on the table. But you have to stay committed that you close out who you previously were when you saw burdens where there wasn't, where you walked away from conflict. Here and now, your voice is critical for making money, for connecting, for taking chances so that you can be the Emperor. Now, what do you want? Your value system is that you want to be carefree. That's what you're saying. The transformational, the application of the transformation, as you have learned life up until now, is to use your voice to take chances for pleasure. And that your value system is one that says yes, not no. That your permission that you give, that you grant, is always one that is of spiritually connected, that the world has your back. Possibilities. Yes, he could fall. Yes, those flowers could be poisonous. Yes, that maybe that woman is not maybe that woman is not someone that he knows, or maybe he doesn't know if he can trust her. But the possibilities is that he's going to jump and be caught. The flower is beautiful. Everything is healing. This is precisely who he's been looking for his whole life. She unlocks for him as a younger person, some kind of student now ready to graduate into the Emperor. I feel like I'm talking to a masculine. I have a lot of masculine on the table. But you would know what's best for you. Now I'm going to dive a little bit deeper to now, I just want to bring your attention, if you can see it. So right here, the deck is split. Everything counts. There is no reason for this card to be slipping out, but it is. And it's We Are the World. And it's the 10 of Pentacles. So in this shift, as Emperor, not only about abundance, but also about travel and connection. And it could be a new technological application that you are creating. Maybe you are tech savvy, something that you are doing that brings people together, either in person or through an application. But this is happening. And you are diving full feet if you stay in this place of power, recognizing that everything you say is magic. You have to let go of maybe what hasn't happened previously. the false starts before, the loss of money before, any jobs that maybe left you behind, people that didn't recognize you as worth it, didn't think that you were talented enough. It's all over. 7 of Swords. You can't see this deck, sorry. 7 of Swords, that's all over. That's the death process. Letting go of the things that let go of you. Oh, that's so sweet, Virgo. A little late, because you should always know your value and always know your worth, and never think that if someone walks away from you, you have to try harder, ever. But that's the lesson that I'm seeing at this particular moment for Aquarius season. And maybe it's not the first time that you've looked or visited this lesson, but for some reason it's coming full circle, because we live in a spiral. Sometimes we go through experiences that are very similar to previous ones, but we have a chance to look at it differently, to do differently, and then we really get to close that chapter, or we recognize, wow, I almost fell into that same trap, and we get to change it before it manifests in the way that we thought we outgrew, right? Okay, so I'll put that back there. That's just a side note. I'm going to use the vice versa deck again. I'm just going to shuffle in any way that I can, because these cards don't have a front and a back. Like, they are just front and back. Every card has a meaning for front and a meaning for back. So when you shuffle, you just kind of look like a weirdo. Bear with me. Also, I want to clarify the 6 of Cups to see if this is about a particular person, if this is about anything particular. Can I see the 6 of Cups, please, for Virgo for Aquarius season? Thank you. So, I have falling over what was the burden previously that you may have skirted and stepped away from, but now may be returning to, as you stand in this position of strength as the Hierophant. I've got the 3 of Wands, but in reverse. There was delays before. There was distance. There was a issue of expectation and impatience. But now there is no more waiting. Maybe there is more clarity, more manifestation power. Because then I have the Empress. So that's 2 3s back to back. Again, internal harmony is marked by 3. Death is completion of what was previously thought to be harmonious. Your thoughts proved to be incorrect. And now a new creation of harmony. So not waiting to offer the Empress, the backside of the Empress, to offer your gifts, your beauty, your productivity to the world. The Empress, when it's in the back, is about creating, not destroying. Creating but destroying the old. That's exactly what the Empress states in this deck. Creating but destroying the old. Not being burdened to wait by the previous idea of yourself, ready to create but also destroying the old. And this was what the 6 of Cups was clarified by. So this is about a renewal of spirit, the chance to rise up, a big growth. If this woman represents your past, you're happy to take this gift, take the gifts, the blessings from what came before you, recognizing, like a seed recognizes the virtues of the tree that dropped it and how it continues to pass on this lineage. But at the same time, you can sever ties and you can move forward. And that doesn't relate to anyone else but you. You being your best friend, you being maybe in a better place to have mental peace. The bottom of the deck here, I've got the 4 of Swords, right? So this relates back to the swords as you showed me in the beginning, because there's really no peace here. There's no acceptance here. There was a previous moment where something asked a decision, a vocalization, some action from you that had to do with communication, and you left it. and it didn't actually do what you thought it was going to do, right? You thought that there was going to be peace from leaving it, but actually from facing what you can leave behind, there is clarity and peace. Now this is the in the vice versa, the Four of Swords is talking about concentration, a real sense of truce. And I don't feel as though it's just related to someone else. I feel as though it's a true truce with you. Because you know your participation in the previous experience. And it's been difficult to let go and call it complete. But you are here now, ready, committed to take chances, find the possibilities, find the abundance as the Emperor. Wow. Yeah. Pretty remarkable. So maybe I want to know what you're creating, right? Like maybe that's the most important thing to gain sight on. What are you creating? We're talking about Aquarius season. We're talking about the year of the fire horse. We're talking about eclipse season. So that's where I'm going to grow. I'm going to use the Osho Zen. Can I see what is being created? This Empress, this Fool, this Hierophant, this Magician. I know that it's abundant. I know that it's about all things that are possible. I know it's a sudden change. But can I see what Virgo is creating? If you can share with me what they are creating. What are they stepping towards for Aquarius season? What is Virgo creating? Thank you. Wow. Okay. So I have the Page of Wands, which we saw previously, followed by the Two of Cups, followed by the Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Now, in this deck, intensité, la intensité, this is the passion. It's a really beautiful card, but it's like really hard to see with this light. There's a face that emerges, and it's all this very intense color, speed, light. And then this is the Two of Cups, friendship, but it's in reverse. They're both in reverse. So the Page of Wands, passion, purpose, vigor, excitement, enthusiasm. Friendship. Neither of these working. I asked, what are you creating? And you gave me two negative cards. What is Virgo creating? You said, I'm not excited. I'm not enthusiastic, and I'm not trying to be friends with anyone. I just want to work, maybe. But you got the Page of Cups, and this is in this deck. This is comprehension, la compréhension, and this is like when you understand that you are not caged and that you are free, and that we've seen. And maybe what you're creating is that you will no longer move in a way that is unfriendly to you. And perhaps you haven't really been supportive of you, and you want to try to do it in a different way. Perhaps you've kept yourself in a box about what you couldn't handle or what your past limited you. Even though the woman is on this card for the past, the Hierophant can also be a very strict upbringing, right? The value system that you were conditioned by, taught at a very young age and carried on just for the sake of what it means to be a prophet, what it means to be a pupil, a disciple, an apostle. Giving loyalty because family requires it, not because you are actually loyal, but just presenting it so that there's no conflict, because it's nice to have a value system, right? It's not that you want to let go of those values. You just are trying to find a way to individuate yourself. And that is being a true friend. That is getting yourself out of the cage. That is recognizing your power as the magician. And that is killing away those things that limit your capacity to shine. Remember, the sun was in the middle of the deck. There is a breakthrough of consciousness. That's what the sun offers us. Light gets in and it helps you to grow. It shows you what you missed. Let the light in. That's why the Tower has to happen, because the foundation needs to shift of how you perceived your ceiling before. Yeah. The universe is telling you to take the lid off. You can't be small anymore, Virgo. You make a truce here and now. I will not live small. Ships coming in. Unexpected opportunities. The back of the Four of Cups. I'm pretty sure the back of the Four of Cups is the unexpected opportunities. Something that you don't see is coming towards you. Yeah, an opportunity on the horizon. So you go from the 3-3 to the 4-4. You can't make that up, right? This is a leveling up from what is the Fool to the Emperor. Put it like this if you want. And I want to bring your attention in the sense that the meta parents of the Fool are the High Priestess and the Hierophant. Okay, that is the spiritual endowment of the Fool. But the earthly parents of the Fool are the Empress and the Emperor. So we're dealing with really big father complexes here, particularly if you are masculine, but for anyone watching this that has dynamics with their mom or dad. A masculine parent doesn't actually have to be biological male or female. However, here we have the Fool, a leveling up and a representing of oneself as individuated from the meta father and the earthly father. Remember this card if you remember nothing else. Creating new, but also destroying old. I have that quote coming to me, do not go quietly into that dark night, or something like this. I'm ruining it, but you understand me. Right. I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to get you some advice from the Akashic Tarot, and just see what's in the field for you, because right now it's up to your manifestation. It's up to your clearing of the old. It's up to your ability to be mentally at peace, to really level up, stay concentrated on being your own friend. Do not let the impulse of the fears, the doubts, do not let them creep in. Do not wait. Do not think that you cannot handle things or that you've asked for more than you can handle. No doubt. And do not think that there is a ceiling that isn't there. You are not caged. This is all internal work. Show me what's in the field for Virgo. Advice, please. Advice for Virgo. For Aquarius season, please and thank you. Advice for Virgo. Thank you. The One of Roses, your commitment. You see, your commitment to you, the relationship with you, and the Three of Forces. Now, when it is in reverse, so it's the bird's nest, okay? The bird's nest, if it's upright, it's about greater responsibility. But when it's in reverse, it's about the great freedom to leave home. And what is home? Not that you live with your parents, but this sense of home, this structure, this hierarchy, this value system that was handed down to you, this whatever it is that you had to lean in, smell deeper so that you can actually jump from and realize how it was holding you back and why it didn't let you take action and find your voice before and see things as a burden when they were never actually compromising you at all. Two birds. Free. Free as a bird. Right. So I hope that there has been something helpful for this. I hope that there has been something helpful for you in this reading. Let me know what it is that you're planning. Let us know how much money you plan on making, what these next projects look like, and how they're taking hold, for we are the world. And just remember that you are free as a bird, and the best friend in you knows that to be true. So listen up, okay? Hold your own hand. Do not go lightly. Ciao, ciao.